Over a year ago, I published a video on the 191st Street station on the 1 line. That station is the deepest in the system at over 170 feet below street level. Just 2 blocks away, however, is its sister station, 190th Street on the A line. This station is another known for its depth at 140 feet below street level. There are 2 entrances to the station, one through a long walkway from Bennett Avenue and another through an elevator near Fort Tryon Park. Here we stand on Bennett Avenue, looking towards the entrance to the station. As you can see, there is a large hill just behind the entrance, and this is why the station is so deep. From this end, there is a short descent to the platforms. However, through the elevators, you're traveling multiple stories. Arriving at the mezzanine, we can see it's rather basic. One difference we have from many of the mezzanines in the system, however, is the overlook onto the platforms down below. This gives you a nice view of the trains, but it's nothing really to write home about. The station was built as a part of the IND, or Independent Subway's 8th Avenue Line corridor. It would be the first line the IND built and was intended to compete with some of the elevated and subway lines in Manhattan, operated by the IRT. Construction started on the line in 1928 and was opened 4 years later, in 1932. This station was designed by Squire J. Vickers, who was the chief architect of the stations included in the dual contracts, which covers most of the IRT stations in the Bronx and Brooklyn. Design-wise, this station doesn't differ much from the usual IND design. White tiling, colored name tablets, it's pretty much the basic package. I will say, however, 8th Avenue and Concourse are probably the 2 lines that differ the most from the rest of the IND. There are many stations that don't have the high tile bands, and there are a few stations that have arches over the tracks, mainly these deep stations in Upper Manhattan. What I find funny is while many IRT and BMT stations changed since they were first constructed, many IND stations didn't. The same nameplates, tiles, and even some of the railings are still here, over 80 years later. Just a little something to think about the next time you ride the subway. Remember, most of this stuff is not new. In the early 1950s, as the world entered the Cold War, there was consideration over the modification of some of the deepest stations in the system to serve as bomb shelters in the event of an attack. 5 stations in the Washington Heights neighborhood were selected for modification, however, never received their modifications due to the lack of federal funding. This was one of those stations. On platform level, specifically on the downtown platform, we can see that this station used to be named 190th Street Overlook Terrace, a name that most likely dates back to the 1900s and refers to the station's location at the top of Fort Tryon Park, which provides a view over most of the Fort George area. Talking about Fort Tryon Park, there is another entrance to the station on top of it. This entrance leads you to 3 elevators, which lead you down to the mezzanine. These elevators are not within fare control and are sometimes used by nearby residents to traverse the large hill in Fort Tryon Park. Unfortunately, there are no elevators leading from platform level to mezzanine level. With the 190th Street station being located in Upper Manhattan, its build is unique. There aren't many stations in the system that have the issue of height and geography. What are your opinions on the 190th Street station? Do you like it? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, if you enjoyed the video and you would like to get more from Mystic Transit, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me via channel memberships or super thanks. Special thanks to Damien's Transit and Health Bar videos for supporting me at the train operator tier.